You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on OnFire-TV.com. Really disgusted. The city of Memphis has released the body camera footage. We also saw footage from a pole above the area where the second interaction took place. The surveillance video, which shows this January 7th traffic stop, a violent police confrontation that led to the death of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. So some people compared this to Rodney King, for those that remember that in the 90s. This was worse. Rodney King survived that beating. He was high on PCP, which gives you that extra strength. But this video was different to me. Aside from the fact that these are black officers, and they should be, but they're going to be thrown under the bus by the police department. Now, if these officers had been white, I don't know whether that would be the same thing that we are seeing now, as far as the stance that the police are taking. But let's deal with what we have in front of us. One of the body camera videos, a Memphis police officer is heard yelling at Nichols, "I'm going to baton the F out of you. Give me your effing hands." Nichols screams for his mom as the video shows the officers arriving at the second location in a residential neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that he lived in. He's calling for his mother. He's hoping someone will hear him. Someone will help him. And it's a whole bunch of officers. As you well know. Whole bunch of officers brutalizing this man. Now, the multiple angles, I guess the body camera footage wasn't as it wasn't as bad as that video surveillance camera. The footage shows Nichols being held down, struck by these black officers. He's screaming for his mother, and the police savagely beat this 29-year-old FedEx worker for 3 minutes. Now, there's similarities, because, we're seeing police brutality. We're seeing officers so erratic, so angry. They're pepper spraying each other, kicking them so savagely that after this incident, one of the officers is limping because he's kicked so much. They're taking pop shots. They're sucker punching them, hitting them with the baton. Cities across the country are braced for large demonstrations. The Nichols family is urging supporters to protest peacefully. This young man, by definition of the law, was terrorized. Not by one, not by two, not by three, but 5 officers who we now know acted in concert with each other. And then after it was over with, they're still failing to give him the care that he needs. They're sitting around joking about it like they had a club or something, like they had a lounge or bar, the way that they're speaking about it. It is very, very disturbing to watch. Very disturbing to watch. Almost brought me to tears, this newly released video. As I said, this violent arrest. It's very difficult to watch. So Nichols died 3 days after this confrontation with the so-called police. It is very difficult to watch. Now, this is how officers act, though, a lot of times. It just so happens that these are Black officers. So we're not able to point to, this happening at the hands of another race. These officers are going to really, really be made examples of in the way that we have often hoped would happen. But these Black officers, oh yeah, they are going to get. You saw how quickly the charges came. Now, it wasn't as quickly as what Marilyn Mosby put out in the wake of Freddie Gray, but the egregious nature of this incident is, police are going to say, "Oh, this is not a representation of how we roll." Where did these officers get it from? Where did these officers get this? What they're going to learn is something that many have learned. Just because you're wearing that uniform, just because you think you down, you ain't really down, and they're going to show. We're going to see the justice come swift. It's going to be harsh, but it is only coming this fast because these officers are Black. Oh, they're gonna learn a valuable lesson. These officers, they over there laughing, kicking it, because they thought, because they have on this blue uniform, that they was safe. They thought they had white privilege. That's why these officers, after the fact, they're making the excuses. Oh, he was high on something, or he was strong, he was this, is that. They're definitely going to be made examples of. Definitely. See how fast the investigators are working the internal review of this arrest? You see how fast the body camera footage came out? If these officers were white, it'd been a long time before we saw that footage. Oh, and they the surveillance video on the top of the pole, that wouldn't have been working. But now this goes to show you how much the police hide from us. All right. A lot of people didn't even know that video surveillance thing was up on that pole. Pammy B 43 on Instagram is talking about how fast the justice is going to come. And she agrees with me that they thought they had white privilege. So these officers have been terminated, and they have been charged. 2 of the officers are out on bail. They say there's an ongoing criminal investigation. They're not going to comment on the termination of the officers in the Tyre Nichols case right now. But the citizens of Memphis and this country, the family, all deserve to know the complete account of the events that led up to this young man's death and what may have contributed to it. His civil rights, upon view, look like they were violated. So there is no video. There is no video of his so-called reckless driving that led to this encounter. As officers approached the vehicle, a confrontation occurred and the suspect fled the scene on foot. Officers pursued the suspect and again attempted to take him into custody. But these guys are they're acting like an angry mob. No one's in charge. It just seemed like a bunch of thugs There was no direction. There was no direction. There was no, after they had him cuffed, nobody stopped. Nobody stepped in. Afterward, he was complaining about having shortness of breath. I'm sure that there was, his brain was bleeding. And it took a long time before they gave him help, even after paramedics arrived or fire department arrived. It is really, really disgusting to see. It is disgusting to see this video. It is graphic. As I said, he died 3 days after the arrest. 3 days after the arrest, he died. What does that tell you? So footage is out. We've seen it. The officers' actions were heinous, reckless, inhumane. Now, the police, Memphis police, of course, have not been able to substantiate the reckless driving allegation that prompted the stop. No evidence of that, no footage of that. We got to take these officers' words. We're going to take these officers' word. Here's what's so crazy. These are the black cops. What about the white cops? Are they worse or are they just the same? No video of the alleged. Don't you think they would have video of the traffic stop? Because he probably wasn't driving reckless. He probably was not driving reckless at all. They got all this video footage. I'm sure there's footage of what the traffic stop was. They don't want to show that, probably because that's going to really get people amped up. That's probably going to really get people amped up because there's no reason to stop him, more than likely. But during the initial stop, the video showed the officers, they were already on 10. They were at or about 10. The officers were aggressive. They were loud. They were profane, probably scared him from the very beginning. Why are you stopping me? They won't say nothing, right? They don't say anything. They just beating him up, yelling at him, screaming at him. He doesn't even know why this is happening. These supposed to be his brothers, right? Now, something happened prior to this officer or these officers getting out of their vehicles. Knowing the nature of police officers, it takes something to get them amped up, you know? What happened? Why were they so angry? The amount of force applied in this situation is over the top. Over the top. Horrible to watch. Horrible to watch. I hope that people are not going to burn down the city, though. That's not what we need right now. You got to protest peacefully. But this video is appalling. In no way, shape, or form is this the only beating like this. This might be the only one that we're going to get access to for some time, but this is not the only one. Court records show that all 5 of these officers, or former officers, were taken into custody. The officers each face charges of second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. You've never heard officers charged like this: kidnapping, aggravated kidnapping, official oppression. Now, here's what's ironic. When you look at the Freddie Gray case, if Marilyn Mosby had charged those white officers with any of these charges, they're already, the reason why Marilyn Mosby's having so much trouble here in Baltimore is because she charged these white officers with the death of Freddie Gray. But these black officers, it's gonna be just fine. They ain't gonna have a whole lot of trouble. According to one of the attorneys for the officers, they said that no one out there that night intended for Tyre Nichols to die. Are you kidding me? Second-degree murder is punishable by 15 to 60 years in prison under Tennessee law. Don't expect these black cops to get off easy. I don't think that that is. There were rallies and demonstrations planned for tonight in Memphis, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Portland, and Washington. New York Mayor Eric Adams, former police officer, said that he and other mayors across the country had been briefed by the White House in advance of the video's release and said that it would trigger pain and sadness in many of us. It will make us angry. This video does make me angry. Nichols at all times was an innocent victim. What did he do wrong? This Scorpion unit was designed to saturate under the guise of crime fighting. And what it wound up doing instead was creating a continual pattern and a practice of bad behavior. These officers thought that they were above the law. That's what they thought. They thought that they would not have any problems. They're still being investigated for violating department policy. They're doing a complete and independent review. And I guarantee you, this complete and independent review is going to be the type of review that we expect to happen all the time. But when you have this alignment of circumstances, a black suspect and black officers, with the black officers doing something wrong, they're definitely going to be held to account. And justice is going to come swift, but it's only going to prove that when it is something that they desire to do, they know how to bring justice. When it's something that they want to do, nothing is going to bring this man back. So we've seen more than an hour of video footage tonight, released by Memphis, Tennessee authorities. The violent beating that resulted in the death of Tyre Nichols, in which the officers held down this 29-year-old black motorist, struck him repeatedly in the head, kicking him in the head, punching him in the face, hitting him with the baton, spraying him with the mace, spraying each other with the mace. They're like rabid dogs. Officers charged with murder yesterday. And, afterwards, just the way that they handled it, the way that they handled themselves, they were trying to come up with the excuses. FBI Director Christopher Wray said that he was appalled by the video and that all FBI field officers have been alerted to work with state and local partners, including Memphis, in the event something gets out of hand. So these officers facing second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, official oppression. Now, 4 of the 5 officers have posted bond. 4 of the 5 have been released from custody. Yeah, I don't know how this goes, but the 2 fire department workers also removed from duty. They have not been fired as of yet. But seeing Nichols pepper sprayed and restrained while he was pulled over just near his home. He's in his neighborhood, returning home from a park where he'd taken photos of the sunset. Like, this was not a bad guy. I mean, nobody's perfect, but this wasn't a bad kid, according to reports. Relatives have accused police of causing Nichols to have a heart attack and kidney failure. Yeah, this is a sad story. And you know what's so heartbreaking is that you have black officers putting on this uniform, thinking that this is going to give you the blanket, the cover to treat citizens like this. Now, if the motorists had been white, these black officers wouldn't have did him like that. If Tyre Nichols had been white, these same 5 officers would not have beat him like that. They thought, because this motorist was black, a young black male, they thought that they could get away with this. They thought that they could do with him whatever they wanted to do because that's what normally happens. That's what normally happens. This ain't the first time. You can tell by the way they conducted themselves. This is not the first time that they've beat somebody. It's not the first time. So this traffic stop, this beating, this video is not for everybody. It is violent. It is graphic, but it was released 6 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern, roughly. So consisting of body camera footage, street surveillance footage made public by Memphis. And I just, it hurts me because aside from the fact that these are black officers beating up another black guy. And it is a sad thing to see that we have allowed things to just degrade to this point. Because this is just, when this story first happened, a lot of people didn't pay attention to it as much because we see this happening so much. But this is going to be a different situation. These officers, you know how they say that the boys in blue stand up for each other? No. You're going to watch all police officers and their representatives across the country. They are going to distance themselves from these officers, and these officers are going to be made an example of, reminded. Don't think that you white. Oh yeah, they're going to throw them to the curb, through the wolves. Charged with 2nd-degree murder, aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, 2 counts of official misconduct, and official oppression. When have you heard officers being charged like that? Felicia Space on Instagram says, and this was a traffic stop, right? And there's no footage of him allegedly driving reckless. Oh yes, this definitely hurts. This hurts worse, I think, because they look just like him. Nichols was a father to a 4-year-old and worked at FedEx with his stepdad. He enjoyed skateboarding, photography, Starbucks, and watching the sunset from a park in Memphis. This young man died at a Memphis hospital 3 days after this violent encounter with the police. Last words, he called out for his mom, whose name is tattooed on his arm. Man, it is a really, really sad thing. I pray that things do not get violent and they don't take away from the focus. The focus needs to be on justice. Yes, these are black cops, former black cops. They deserve everything that they're going to get. But let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson to all officers. First, let me speak specifically to black officers. Let this be a lesson to you all. Do not think that you are special. Do not think that you are different. Do not think that because you are wearing that blue uniform, that these guys are going to stand up for you, the police officers. They will drop you like a bad habit. And that's what you're going to see. This justice is going to come quick. It's going to probably come this year. Oh, it's going to be quick. They are going to disown all 5 of y'all. Y'all lives are probably over. Your lives are probably over. And you deserve everything that you're going to get. So police officers, black police officers across the country, let this be a lesson. And it's crazy that I got to say this, you officers need to abide by the law. Because if you color outside the lines too far, they're going to distance themselves from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, this story is not over. We're going to continue to find out details about the last moments of Tyre Nichols, these sorry excuses for police officers, these 5 idiots who deserve everything that they're going to get. And of course, people are going to say, "Oh, yeah, innocent until proven guilty," and they're going to try to say that the police are coming down too hard on them. You're going to hear their attorneys say that, right? They're going to, "Oh, we can't get a fair trial. Everybody's against us. We're innocent until proven guilty." Okay, yeah, really? This man did not pose a threat. This man did not pose a threat. After a certain point, they're still kicking him in the head, hitting him with a baton, punching him in the face, sucker punching him in the face, sucker punching him, and then laughing about it afterwards. Yes, the lack of just human caring, just humanity, professionalism. Like there's so many things that these officers did wrong, and they were trained to do this. Let's not get it twisted. These 5 officers didn't just go rogue. This is the mentality. And some people are not cut out for this line of work. These guys clearly not cut out for this line of work. And, I hope that they're not able to beat this case and then go to some other jurisdiction and do this again. I don't think that that's going to happen. We have seen stuff like that happen, though. So let's not act like it is far-fetched. Yes, those are 9 times out of 10 white guys that are doing that. But I don't want for a minute to think that could not happen. Sad watching the video. We knew that it was going to be bad. We knew that it was going to be heinous. We knew that it was going to be violent, looking at the death of this 29-year-old FedEx worker, father of a 4-year-old, killed after an interaction with these 5 losers. Poor excuses. Just a disgrace to their city, to their department, just a disgrace to their family, just so much. And they are going to be, I can't say this enough, they're going to be made examples of. Now, I don't want officers in the future, when we have these situations, when you got those cameras, and we already know those cameras are up there, and you got access to them, and the video footage from that surveillance camera that's on the street pole is clear. It's no sound, but it's clear. But in other instances, they act like the camera's broke. Oh, we couldn't get that footage. Oh, but they got this footage. These 5 black cops, they're like, what? Oh, yeah, we got that footage. And they threw them right under the bus. So I want us to keep that same energy when there's misconduct or when the law is broken, right? By a citizen. Let's use these cameras a lot more, because y'all was able to get this footage together real quick. They was able to get this together real quick. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, I'll be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the Diamond K Show on all social media. Of course, onfire-tv.com is where you go to follow us and all that good stuff. I'll be back here tomorrow on your man Diamond K.